Hi there, this is Kathy Crow at the Crow Cottage, and I am so grateful for you to have joined me on this beautiful Veterans Day. It is sort of a mixed weather here. We've got some clouds and some sun and some blue sky, so I'm glad of that. I did do my exercises this morning. Hi there, Jewel. Oh, good, Jewel. You can watch. I hope you're healing up well. I've been praying for you. Your physical therapy, and you're not sure which side you did. At any rate, today we are going to do the Christmas rose. This is the set. It comes, now I'm going to show you more after I put my camera down what these stamps actually look like. You've probably seen other people using them. They're really nice. But today I'm actually not going to use the stamps all that much because I love the paper, and I haven't really stamped with the actual stamp set much yet because I've just been having so much fun playing with the paper. Hi, Marty. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. And thank you for sharing. I always forget to tell people, please share my videos, and I will enter you in the drawing. In fact, this time... Jewel, that does not sound good with insurance. Insurance issues are never fun. Believe me, I understand that. This time of the year, a lot of us are changing insurances because our insurance, because it's tied to the school system, goes from October to November, and then that's our fiscal year, sort of. Anyway, so thank you for sharing. And we're in the midst of finding different stuff right now. For last week's video, I already wrote our names out. I did check that. So I am going to go ahead after the card is done today and do the drawing. Normally, I try to get it done on Tuesday and forget, and then Wednesday and then Thursday. But this is a busy week, and this being a holiday week, it's especially going to be a busy one. So I did manage to get in there and get that done so that we can get that drawing finished today too. So if you don't get to stick around with me and you have to leave, that's okay. You can check back later and see how that went. And so I am going to put my glasses on and we are going to get started. So I'm going to switch the camera around. It's going to take me just a minute to do. Hopefully I won't lose my camera as I'm doing it because it doesn't like fast movements. It's fine as long as everything's moving slowly, but fast, it doesn't cooperate with me very well. So anyway, and I've got my system I've got it like set up a little awkwardly here with my light. So we'll see if my light can shine where I want it to without it actually being in the camera. Because it kind of probably was there for a minute. Okay, but I do need it to be up far enough. So I have to keep checking to see if my hand is my hand in the picture, because I need to be on the edge. I need that edge to be it, because I still find myself just working like right on the edge. I have all these things on my desk. I have like embellishment things. I have my stamp blocks, like in little these are actually I like this system because these are actually it's a tool thing, and it's adjustable and stackable and all kinds of things. And you can just take the whole little bin out and you can stick it. When I used to take my stamps to our church a lot and do church things, I needed to be able to just pull out whole drawers of stamps and stack them into my car. And so it was nice when we went to these cases instead of all the jillions of wood blocks that I had to take everywhere. Now I can just take these things. Now I'm kind of dinging around here on the side looking for my video because I can't see. Now that I put the camera down, I cannot see any comments. So I am just taking a minute here to find that. And I actually was surprised I got ready in time to do this video without totally messing myself up and getting here late and all, because since it is a holiday, I visited it with a friend for coffee, and and thought, oh man, I hope I have time to do everything. Now, so this is our old Everything is Rosy. I brought this. This is a retired set. Actually, it's still probably on the clearance rack. They had it on the clearance rack, and I bet it's still there. It has some really nice sentiments, and I like the flowers too. The dies were really nice. But I do use these sentiments quite a bit. This is the one that has Don't Let Worry Spoil Your Happy. One of my favorite ones, and it's a birthday one as well. Congratulations. But today I might use this stamp, which is Time to Celebrate All the Lovely Things in Life Starting with You. Because although this is a Christmas rose set, and it has pretty much Christmas sentiments on it, it's a beautiful all-seasonal flower. Even though the little sprigs, the spruce or fir sprigs evoke Christmas. As you can see, we are going to color it and turn this into a fallish thing. It's not going to be Christmas today. And but the leaves are light enough on this paper that you can do many things with it. So I've already taken the die and cut out. I did some things in advance so that I could go through our video fairly early today. Jeff, of course, is home, and I'd rather not spend the whole day in here doing cards with you. Be nice to spend some time with him today. So as you can see, the die actually fits perfectly, you know, over your flower for this flower. It just it's a perfect fit. Oops, if I can find, you just have to find find how it goes. There we go. That's how it goes. So it cuts that one out perfectly. And I did kind of mess around to see if it could be adapted to do this one too, because I'm a cluster of 3 person, and so I liked the cluster of 3 large flowers. There is a 4th bud in there, but not counting that. I liked this cluster of 3, so I was hoping I could get one that would fit, that would match that one too, but it doesn't. And I'm not concerned about that because, of course, I'm going to use all of this paper up. It's gorgeous. And then I won't need that die anymore. You know, this die is going to lose its appeal for me when this paper is used up. But anyway, I haven't used all of this paper yet, but I've used most of it. This is a really nice sheet for bags. I particularly liked that side. So anyway, this is the paper that we used, and I'm going to set this aside. So it's Christmas Rose. It's only available till the end of this month or until it sells out. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I think it's available till it sells out. So it might be available even longer than that. It's just they're selling it until it's gone. But I'm quite sure they're not reordering anymore. And so it will sell out, and you just don't know when it will. And so if you like it, you should get it. Okay. So today's card is going to be pretty quick. I did get everything cut out already. So we're going to color the leaves, and I've done the coloring before. I was very appreciative that the leaf in here is a very light green, and then you can color it any color you want. You can leave it the way it is. It's pretty that way too. I took my, because we're using pumpkin pie cardstock to match this DSP. This is our Come Together DSP, and this is a part of that sheet. I've used most of this sheet up, or I would show you a big 12 by 12 one, but this has been one of my favorite ones this fall to use, so I don't have much of it left. I think I actually have a new order of it coming because it's got some gorgeous papers in it. I love it. And so anyway, but I wanted to use this as our background for this rose and to pull in this. This is actually pumpkin pie or Cajun craze. This leaf also matches the Cajun craze really well, but it actually, I think it's It's a pretty close match to that pumpkin pie too. And I needed to brighten the card up a little. This is probably, oh, what is this color? Is it, do you guys know what this background color is? Is it Blackberry Bliss or... I think is it Razzleberry? It's either Mary Merlot or Rich Razzleberry. I'll just get this out because we probably will use those colors, and we'll experiment because I'm thinking, looking at it now like this, I'm thinking it must be Rich Razzleberry, but Mary Merlot might be really close to it also. So we'll get those two out. And then I've got, this is our stitched all around labels. Let's see, what is that one? Stitched. I've got all of my dies right here now, but it still doesn't help me get them out any faster for you. Where is it? Stitched. I thought it was called Stitched All Around Labels. Anyhow, that's what this one is. And we're going to use that with this Pear Pizzazz. It's not quite the match of this green, but again, trying to brighten the colors up a little bit just because that flower's pretty dark. That's pretty dark. And then in the Christmas Rose dies, there's actually two really cute labels. There's this one, which I cut out of pumpkin pie. It also has this label, and we might use this for the white that I'll use. I do have some white that's from the Stitched All Around die. This also is the Christmas Rose, and I've got some hanging pieces on it. There's actually two little trellis pieces. There's that larger trellis piece, and there's this nice little edged trellis piece. So if I feel energetic as we're doing this, I'm going to take this card and I first of all took my pumpkin pie and cut it 4 1/4 by 11. Scored it 5 1/2 and folded it, and then I cut this 5 1/2 by 4 1/4 piece. We are going to cut this on the diagonal so that I have half of the die, the DSP showing, and half of our pumpkin pie showing. So I might take my edge, if I have enough of my edge showing, I might do that, but I don't know that a lot of it will show because our flower is going to be here, and I don't think that's going to leave enough of the edge to bother with, because I'm also going to have a label on there, so probably won't use this. But it's a really nice edging piece. Now, I wish it was just a tad bit longer, because then I could do a lot of things with the edges of my card. And so it's a little limited that way. I do have some other pieces that are longer, and so for the bottom of the card, I am going to use my Flourishing Phrases. I believe that's what this is from, Flourishing Phrases, piece of white border. I have a bunch of things like this cut out, and next time I sit down and cut a bunch of things out like that, I need to like put a little sticky label on it so I know exactly what die set it came from. I have so many, it gets confusing. Now, the last part of the Christmas Rose dies that I love, they're gorgeous, are these little curly Q corner pieces. Now, we are not going to need these today. I'm sad about that because I have loved them. They look good on a card, you know, obviously in a contrasting color. They look great on this label. So you can put them on this cute little label. And it's actually a fleur-de-lis, and I'm partial to the fleur-de-lis insignia. I forget what it means, but it has a happy meaning. And so anyhow, I just really love those little corners. They're cute, but I won't be using those, I know, today. So anyhow, let me put my other die pieces away, so when if I do need them as we go, I can quickly grab it out. All right, Oh, Jewel, you think it is Mary Merlot. I think it is too. I think it is because it just is more of a fall color. All right, so let me move some of my extra pieces that I got out while I was chatting about Christmas Rose out of the way. And then we can get going. I just want to thank you so much for coming by and watching me do this today, because it really is an honor and a privilege for me to have you guys do this with me, and taking your valuable time. Because I know you do not need to do it, and I just do appreciate it greatly. Don't take you for granted at all. All right, so I cut pumpkin pie 4 1/4 by 11, folded it in half, and then we are going to just cut the this 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch piece of DSP that I cut. We're just going to cut that in half. So, oops, I do need it to be flat. There we go. So I'm just going to line up my corners of my paper on here, on where the cutter is going to be. And then I'm going to kind of eyeball. I want my little falling leaves to be more in the part I'm keeping. So instead of going quite corner to corner, now if I wanted it to be exactly in half corner to corner, I would just put these little points here and cut it, obviously. But I want to keep more of my scattering leaves on my page. So I'm going to just move this. One corner is going to stay, but I'm going to move the other over. And just that way more of my card's going to have DSP on it. And that's actually what I want. I want a little more DSP and a little less just plain cardstock. So that's the piece I ended up with. And if I don't like this angle as I get it on my card, then I'll just trim it and trim a little bit more off and make it a little sharper angle. Or if I really dislike that look, I can use this part. I'm not going to throw that away. These little angle pieces can come in handy sometimes when you're making cards. So I'm just going to stick this on and see what I think. I do really like those leaves. And I like them going up, but I'm going to turn it like this too and see how that looks. And because this is going to go like this, and this is going to tuck in here. And I actually want my colored leaves to be more on my DSP than there. So I'm not going to like it down low. I'm going to want it up high, because those leaves, I actually don't want them. I want my flower to be positioned like this, where the little one is at the top. So that's how I want my flower to look. And that actually is what I expected it to be like. So we're going to do this, and we're going to do this. This is going to tuck in there. This is going to tuck in here. I also cut this little piece because I thought it might be nice right here on top of my green label. And then I also took a layered oval. Now I had some leftover gold foil that I'd probably run through with other things, and just to get a little piece off, I can see there's a little crease, so I probably don't want to use this label, but I pulled it out in case I thought a little gold might be nice to match the gold that's on this flower. And then I saw these little sprigs in there too. And I'm not sure what these sprigs are from. They're obviously pear pizzazz, but I don't think that's flourishing phrase, but anyway, we'll just stick. I don't even know if I'm going to use those. So let me just show you really quick what colors I used to do my leaves with. I started with this, hi Mercedes, it's good to see you. Thanks for watching with us. Make sure you share the video. I am gonna do the drawing. Last week Linda won, and I still have not sent out Linda's thing. I'm sorry, Linda, I'm so bad at this, but I will get it out tomorrow. And then I'm going to do the drawing from last week. So Mercedes, I just need you to write down shared, because I guess I'm not seeing that you shared because I don't see it. And then I just want to show you what to do with this rose. Now this rose, as I was using it, this is the dark pumpkin pie, and that I'm using it because it matches that pumpkin pie. It made me think of the Rose of Sharon, which is why the Christmas rose is a Christmas rose. It's was it Isaiah? Because I think I was doing Isaiah last week, and that was the reference of Sharon that made me start thinking about the Christmas rose, Rose of Sharon. I should do that. I told you last week I was going to do this Christmas rose, but I really wasn't sure how I was going to use it. I wanted to do the stamp part and do some embossing, because I've seen how people have embossed after they've stamped and colored it, and I'm curious about that. I'm still going to get to that, because the thing about this Christmas rose stamp set is that the fill part is photopolymer, so that means you can stamp the fill part of the flowers. You're going to want to do that after you've done your outline part, because the outline is a rubber stamp. So positioning this over an image you've already done is going to be super tricky. I guess this is exactly the same. Oh, good. Then my die is going to fit this. I didn't even really catch on to that until this moment. So what I'm seeing is that the best impressions with this gold embossed is when people have embossed after they've colored it. And so what they're doing is they're stamping their color and I presume their lines, but maybe they're not doing any of the lines. They're just stamping the color fill, and then they're doing this on it and embossing it to get a nice crisp line. Because when you cut, you can rub your ink off of your embossing and it comes off, but sometimes it's a little bit muddy when you do that. And I'm just not sure how easy it's going to be to emboss using a rubber stamp, trying to put it in the exact same place. Anyway, maybe you guys have done this already and you have discovered that it's actually quite easy to do, and I'm worrying about it needlessly. So if you've already successfully done that, just let me know, and then I won't be worrying about it. But I definitely want to try that before I go full-fledged in doing it on Facebook. Okay, so did our dark pumpkin pie. Now this is the light pumpkin pie. And we'll just color a little bit more of those leaves. And you can go right over your berries. They're going to stay a nice berry color. And if they even looked a little more orangey, so much the better. And then there's Mango Melody to just give it a little bit brighter of an edge. Okay, and then and here's where you can do your blending a little bit too. Okay, that's just going to blend those oranges in a bit. Soften the edge a bit as well. And our lighter one, I don't even think I used that too much. We'll just use it on the edge a tiny bit here and there. Okay, and then this one is light Granny Apple Green, because I do still want some green in here. I don't want it to be totally, when you look at your rose bushes in the fall, they do change color a little, probably not as much as this. I don't think I have many out there that look this golden. But they do get some, and it kind of depends. Some years you get more of a golden hue on your rose bushes. So this one's definitely going to be very fall looking. because I'm not quite to Christmas yet. We might be to Christmas in many ways, but I am still in autumn mode. I'm not really ready to do full-fledged Christmas. Okay, so now we've got our flower there. All right. Let me get some adhesive on here. And we'll put that on our card. All right, so I got some glue on the back of that, and now we'll stick that on there the way we want. Get my excess off. I want to make sure those corners are perfect. There we go. All right, there we go. And thinking of veterans, thank you to you guys. There's some of you who will be watching who are served in the line of duty, and particularly if you may have been injured in the line of duty. Thank you so much for your service. Those of us who aren't in public service jobs like that, where we are in danger, and there's a lot of those positions out there. Very grateful for you doing that. It's something that I think people, I just take it for granted that I'm going to be very safe out there, and I am so appreciative that there are people willing to do that. It's something we should be more appreciative of, I think, in our society. So I wanted to say thank you to you. Now I am going to use my black dimensional, I think, on this one particularly. I love these black dimensionals. Oops, that was just the backing. They hide really nicely behind things. So if somebody is looking at your card carefully and looking at the corners, when you're using your black dimensionals, they cannot necessarily see that dimensional back there because it's black. I like that. And then we'll just tuck this on. Now we're going to need to use a bit of glue on here for this guy. We're going to just take our Tombow and run a little strip on there. And this is going to stick on the card really well. Hopefully not to my fingers so much. That's the one problem with using Tombow, is it tends to get all over my fingers a lot. Okay, so Marty, the Stamparatus to do this, I would stamp it using that and then leave the rubber stamp on it. Oh, and that's where I can use my second plate. Oh, that's a great idea, Marty. I didn't even think of that. You're right. I can use my second plate and then leave my stamp on it. Ooh, very good. Thank you for telling me that. I think that sounds smart. Very smart. I need to write it down so I don't forget. That's what I should be doing. Okay, now I'm not sure that I'm even going to use this label. I'm kind of eyeball this. I want my rose is going to go here. And I wasn't sure about the placement of my trellis. I might need my label to poke up here like that. And then I can put, yeah, that might work. I don't know. I'm not so fond of that. I might go ahead and stick it up there. I wasn't sure that I was even going to use this label. I just wanted to make sure I had it handy if I did decide to use it. But I don't know, maybe peeking out here, and it's actually not going to end up being a label much there. If I had my other little curlicue thing, I could probably stick that on there, but it begins to get too much. You know, you got to be careful. When you're layering on all of these things, sometimes you can get a little carried away and put so many dimensional pieces, and and little doodads on it that pretty soon it's like my living room. Start a collection of things and suddenly I don't have room to sit or put a book on a shelf. I don't have a bookshelf because I've got my little knickknacks all over it, right? I don't have a bookshelf anymore. I have a knickknack shelf. Okay, now I did go out of my lines a little bit with my pen there. So I think I'm going to just take my scissors because I didn't cut it perfectly. You can see I cut a little close to the line there anyway. So since it's already just a tiny bit flawed, I'm going to go ahead and just make my little fussy heart happy and clip the part I colored out of. I'm not going to do it here, although I colored out there too, but I'm not going to because I got a nice edge on that one. So we're going to go ahead and stick dimensionals on this little rose. And we'll put you on there. I do think a ribbon would look nice here too. But I think this is going to be enough because I want this to be down here like that. And then if I need to use my sprigs, I can. I might want to down here. And this is also where I could probably stick my sentiment. Now, let's look here. I wanted to use, not the Christmas rose sentiment, but my Everything is Rosy one. I really wanted to use this Time to Celebrate All the Lovely. That's going to have to go on the inside. I am not going to have room for anything like that here. If I want to do a worry one, I could do that. It's one of my favorites, but I'll probably end up just doing my little dear friend. That little dear friend is pretty cute. It's nice and tiny. I've used it a bunch for cards. It fits on really nicely. Now, if I wanted to stick it there, I could, but that's going to be a little bit of a challenge since I've got a dimensional. We're going to go ahead and try it. I like to live dangerously. Okay, so now here we're going to see if this really is Mary Merlot. We'll find out. If I ruin this card, oh well, I'll just peel it off and do it again. Hi, Michelle. Good to see you. Thank you for joining me. Appreciate it. Make sure you share. Okay, so here's Dear Friend. Now, the only reason, let's see, we'll get my hands under here. I'm going to use my finger underneath here to kind of push up to get a better impression since I've got dimensionals and all kinds. And this is probably going to partially go off onto that green as well. So we'll stick it where I want it. And I'm going to push. And I wouldn't recommend doing it this way. It's actually not the smart way to do it. But it is the way I did it today. And you can see this is what happens when you do that. You get little smudges. And it's not ideal, but it's going to work for now. And if I really hated it, I could take my little white label and stick it right there. And then we can do it the right way. Like this. Okay. And then we can just stick that right there. Doesn't that look nicer? I think I probably should do that. And we'll just glue this on. But it didn't hurt me to try it. If it had worked, I could have lived with it. But I would have lived with it if it wasn't that I'd gotten it a little crooked as well. So crooked and smeared, no, that's a little too much. So we'll just stick you in like that. Very cute. And that's the other thing I like about making cards and layers. You can just keep stacking the layers up as you go until you get what you like. So, again, now let me look really quick. I believe this is the Flourishing, let's see. If I can find it. F does come before G. Maybe if I look alphabetically correctly, I would find it. There it is. Okay. Yes, it is. So this is the die that I used for this. It's from the Flourishing Phrases. Now, I really love Flourishing Phrases. It has this on it, too. If I'd wanted a really nice extra big piece to stick under there, this is a nice one. Flourishing Phrases also comes with a stamp set, and it just has a number of wonderful little flowers and stems and things, but it is not this vine. So this vine is not from Flourishing Phrases. I'm not sure which one that one is from. I have a lot of it laying around, so I don't know what that says about me, but maybe I thought it would work in many places and it didn't really. Okay, I could use little glue dots and stick on there, but I actually find that just using my Tombow is faster, and it adheres better than those glue dots. Those glue dots are great as long as you press really hard. Keep it pressed down there for a while, then they do really well. But I tend to just stick it on and think, oh good, it's stuck on, and then if without a lot of rubbing, sometimes they don't stick as well as you think they are. And then after your card has gone through several hands, suddenly parts of your creation are falling all over. Hi, Andy. Thank you for joining us, and happy Veterans Day to you, too. Thank you guys for sharing. I appreciate it. Now, make sure you stick around if you have time to, because I'm going to do the drawing for last week's video in just a minute, because I'm almost done with this card. Okay, so you just stick that on there. Isn't that cute? And then that white piece at the bottom is balancing out the white around my card. It's the one thing I don't care for with the paper so much when you cut it out is somehow that white isn't balancing out sometimes with some of the things that I've created. So when you're stamping things of your own, rather than using DSP, you can choose the background more carefully and have it match whatever's on your card. And white, is generally really good. So I have been kind of surprised at myself having a hard time using the rose with white. I'm thinking, why is the white throwing me off? I don't know why it is, but it just seems to be. I don't know that I need my sprigs, but I think we'll stick them on anyway. I've got them out. And it's kind of a nice counterbalance to that green there. So, how do you like my Christmas rose? Does it look like a autumn rose now, like it's supposed to, instead of just a Christmas one? I think I'm gonna like using it a lot. I'm gonna be excited to use the actual stamp and get it embossed. Because if you've gone on Pinterest, look at the Christmas rose cards that are on there. There's a bunch of them, and they're beautiful, where people have embossed the edges and colored it, and it's even more vibrant than this paper that they've done, which is pretty also. Okay. Thank you, Michelle. And you know what? I don't even always know. Some of you guys might be veterans. If you are, give us a holler so we can say thank you to you for your service to us. And you, even if, cause at our church, I was surprised when they had veteran stands so that we could honor them. How many people are there, veterans? Because, we see them in the medical field now and don't realize that that's the route they took to get where they are in the medical field. They started in the military somehow. Okay, now I did bring out my little artisan pearls because I thought they might be kind of cute to add here. And you can take your pen and color them however you want to. This is looking like a pretty fussy card right now. I am not seeing a space that would be good for a pearl. Like I could put one here, but like why would I could put one there, I could put one there. It might be cute to put them on the little, if they were smaller. They're a little large. I could put some tinier ones on my sprigs, but as it is, I think we're going to just leave it. That looks pretty good. All right, I think we are done with this card. Now, if I wanted to make the inside pretty, I could put some white on there, and that's where I could use my little sprigs and decorate the inside with your sprigs. That would be very cute. But we're gonna go ahead and stop with that, and I'm gonna move my camera up and do awesome Jewel. Thank you so much for your service. I appreciate that. And Freddie, of course, we've missed you. I'm glad you're here. Thank you, Freddie, for joining us. And Freddie, we honor you too, because you have served well also. And we just thank you so much. We have so many things in our lives to be grateful for. So thank you, God, for the people like Jewel and Freddie who are willing to give their time and sacrifice themselves, their physical bodies for us. Appreciate that very much, because our comfort and safety in this country is something that people have fought for, and even if they haven't fought for it in the traditional sense of being in a war, they still have fought for it. It takes a lot of effort to do those things, and time and danger. We appreciate that sacrifice and feel really blessed. Okay, so we feel really blessed for you. We feel blessed for Christ. So here is our little Christmas rose, like a rose of Sharon, kind of a symbol of that praise and thankfulness and blessing. Okay, I'm going to flip the camera up, and then you can look at me fooling around here, trying to, here I am, nice to see you, with my little list. Okay, so I made my list from last week. I have my basket, and I am going to cut my names out, and then we'll see who wins. Now, last week's card, what did I even do? Was it a moose one? I don't really remember what the one was last week. So that's what I'm doing right now, cutting out the names from the people who shared the card. Now, Trisha is not here with us this minute, but she shared last week. So we'll see. I don't think she's won yet. Maybe she has a chance of winning the drawing. But she's going in the pot too. And I think everybody else that's here is in it. I don't have Michelle on my list. Michelle, I bet you were busy. Last week, I bet you were super busy and didn't have a chance to. Because I know some of the things that you said you were doing last week. And yes, you were very, very busy. Okay, what is this week? This is November 11. So how many more days till Thanksgiving, you guys? Are you ready for Thanksgiving? I can't believe that Thanksgiving is coming so soon. My daughter has a birthday this week, and I have to get her birthday card out yet. It's like, oh man, I can't believe that November's almost halfway done, and I feel like it hasn't really started yet. I think I have some bills I still have to put out that normally would have been done last week. It's not like they're overdue or anything. I still have lots of time, but it's just something I normally have done by now. Okay, so the names are all in there. We're shaking it up. Let's see who wins. Good luck. Thank you, Michelle. Good luck, everybody. And we'll see who wins. All right, it is Andy. Andy, you are the lucky one today. Congratulations, Andy. And I thank you so much for watching and sharing and having fun with me today. And you saw, I think everybody saw my host code. If you happen to want to order something, that would be awesome. Use my host code, and I'll send you a treat in the mail, depending on the size of that order. All right. Thanks again. You guys have a blessed week. And stay strong. Weather's gonna change. I don't know what kind of weather you're having. If you've got Christmas is this weekend. Oh, Freddie, notice my chair. You guys, did you notice I got a new chair? There was the chair on sale, so I got a new chair. And Jeff teases me because that means he gets a new chair, which is my old chair. He gets a new chair. And so he was saying, how come I don't get a new chair? I was like, well, your chair's actually nicer than my chair. His chair is nice. It's got a big, but it was too big for this space, and I wanted one that had a flat seat because actually his chair is so cushy that it was hurting my back. I don't even know how that happens, but it was. This chair is not as nice, but it's better for my back. And I like that it's white. So I have a new chair. All right. Thank you guys. See you later. Bye.